Okay, so we're here on the last day of the Influencer Conference 2010, and we have two more fantastic panels coming up, and I have a gentleman sitting here with me who's going to be on the next panel.
Yes.
Yes, and I am excited to be sitting here speaking with him. You're going to tell us why, because we want to hear who you are and why you're here. So.
Great. My name is Marc Strachan. I'm the Vice President of Multicultural Marketing at Diageo, North America. I'm here really to talk about what I think is the world of influencer, and maybe a little deeper in terms of the world of change agents, which kind of takes it a little bit to the next level, and hopefully gives some insight into my perspective, particularly as I've worked in this industry, in the advertising industry, and kind of where this all fits together.
So then what is the difference if it's the next level between an influencer and a change agent? What's the difference there?
Influencers tend to do just that. They influence the opportunity for people to think about something differently.
Okay.
And in most cases, or in a few cases, engage in something differently. Change agents really are that. They change the way people actually behave.
Okay.
And they tend to have a deeper and richer sense of influence or engagement with consumers for a longer period of time that tend to cause those consumers to look at life and the way they consume products and services quite differently than just an influencer.
Okay, great. That's a very rich description, because we had a panel yesterday called influencers versus innovators. So it sounds like the change agents would fall more into innovation and the ones who actually get things done.
Well, they could. They could be innovative in their thinking. They could be innovative in their approach. They may not necessarily be innovative in the design of a product or a service. They might be, but in many cases, the innovation that they bring to the party might be around the dynamics of how they think about something and how they approach it, and therefore could really have significant impact on swaying people one way or the other, which might be a little deeper than influencers.
Again, that's profound, because I think it seems like a lot of people would love to be able to change the world around them, but don't necessarily know how. When you look for people who are influencers or change agents, I mean, it's intuitive, I'm sure, but what are some of the cues that they give you that tell you this is someone we need to be involved with, this is someone who can translate our brand into, or...
Well, I'm not going to speak on behalf of our brands, because a lot of it is proprietary on how we look at our marketing and our focus in that regard. But what I will tell you is that the difference is quite simple. Michael Jordan was an influencer. Nike was a change agent. Michael was the influencer that helped that change agent get to where it wanted to be at a particular time. I'm not so sure if Michael ever became a change agent in and of himself. If you flip that script, Magic Johnson was less of an influencer, but a significant change agent.
Definitely.
Okay, in terms of changing how business saw the way that people in certain neighborhoods could shop, should shop, and could be valuable customers in the way they approach their business. So from Best Buy to the theaters to TGI Fridays and his other partnerships, it really changed the whole perspective of how people look at brick and mortar stores in certain geographic and regional areas that could provide significant revenue. Companies that had never really looked at it that way. He also changed the way those people
looked at themselves and their value
to that store as customers and how they shop. I think that's a clearly difference between a potential of a change agent and an influencer.
That's great. So then the question is, and I love this, the question then is, how does social media, the internet, the digital arena, help to define by either bridging those two or further making it clear the differences between them? I mean, in other words, how do you use social media, and how is social media helping us to define those two things, the minds of people and brands? Because I think we're kind of muddled there.
Well, you're at a point now where if you're not engaged in social media, you're not engaged in the conversation.
Is it possible to be an influencer without being in social media, or a change agent without being in social media?
I don't think so today.
Wow.
I don't think so today. I think look what our president did relative to the election. Look what others have done relative to changing perceptions on how people think, act, react. Whether it's from politics to business to individuals communicating with each other. If you're not impacting or utilizing social media in some way, shape, or form today, you're not in the conversation. So I think whether you're an influencer or a social or a change agent, social media is clearly a part of your repertoire today.
It has to be. That's incredible. What are some of the things that you hope to hear or that you're looking to hear on the panel today? And what panel are you on?
I think my panel is, and it's changed slightly, so I'm not quite sure.
Right. Sorry about it. Change.
Topic.
Yeah.
But it was about where influencers are today relative to sex, drama, a variety of kind of conversations as it relates to consumer engagement. I think what I'm looking to get out of it is just, again, to impart a little bit of wisdom based on my experience professionally and others, and talk with the other panelists and engage in conversation as it relates to the realities of where these influencers or change agents are today, how they're impacting the very fabric of our country, our conversations, how we interact. I mean, think about it. There are many of us who have never seen a CD.
Yeah.
Many of us who have never seen. If you ask about an LP, they're like, I have no idea what that means. Landlines are about to become obsolete.
Exactly.
How many cars don't have GPSs? And if you have a car without a GPS, people really don't know how to find themselves. So we are challenged in society with being influenced by social media and having things like that influence our way of living, designing, watching, consuming, enjoying life. So I really look for some robust discussion today, and hopefully be able to contribute some points of view.
Yeah, you will. You already have in this interview. Thank you so much. What you've had such, I'm just going to ask you two more questions, but you have such a broad view of this. It's very valuable to the young people to hear what you've seen, what you've done, and the broad scope of the industry of advertising, marketing, branding. What is, aside from social media, can you just kind of tell me something about the change that you're seeing before your eyes that either encourages you or that you see as a possible problem that we need to address?
Clearly, social media utilized in the wrong way can be extremely negative because the press of one button, the press of one click, a message, a rumor, a negative statement could be anywhere in the world in X amount of clicks, X amount of seconds, X amount of bytes. And that could have a profound effect on individuals' lives that we've seen recently in the general media, where people have taken what has gone on in social media to heart, and it's caused them great chagrin and in some cases great personal pain. Years ago, you would have something like that happen and you had an opportunity to address it and maybe put the proper spin on it and put your proper perspective on it. Today, that perspective is already out there, so you're battling against a negative image right away. On the flip side, it can be very positive. What do I mean by that? I mean my children and children of friends who are texting and engaging in social media with people, friends, and colleagues that they've met around the world, and are breaking down the geographical boundaries of staying connected, are breaking down the geographical and regional and racial boundaries of staying connected. So it's really allowing, hopefully, the next generation to interact more socially, interact more culturally, and find ways of staying together, staying connected, and making sure that we as human beings work collectively to find the greater good. And I think that's a positive aspect of social media.
Well, the ironic thing is that positive aspect that I think we all hope for and strive for may actually help to offset the negative if the kids of the next generation become more united or more understanding of each other and engage more. They may become a little more sensitive about what's going on.
Oh, I think that's valuable. I think that's a very interesting point of view and could easily be an outcome of it. Time will tell.
Time will tell. On that cliffhanger, we're going to let you go and discuss a little more what's going to be going on, and we look forward to seeing you on the panel. We look forward to seeing what you're doing. Did you want to mention anything coming up?
Nope.
Nope. All right. Listen, sometimes it just is what it is. It's Friday, folks. Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
You're very welcome. Thank you. Greatly appreciate it.
Okay.